Good evening, everyone. Wednesday night, time for another Facebook Live. While you all are getting on, I am going to put this over or share this with my group so that if anybody's looking there, they can find it. Hope you all are having a good week. I'll give you a couple minutes to join me. Always takes a couple minutes to get this shared. There we go. I'm still in fall mode, but soon I will be transitioning over to Christmas. There's so many beautiful Christmas sets in this mini catalog that I can't wait to start crafting with them. But I know if I start too early, then by the time it gets close to Christmas, I'm Christmas crafted out. All right, almost there. All right, it should be sharing over there. Move that out of the way a little bit. Okay. So tonight I'm using one of the celebration items. So I've talked about this before. These items you can get free just through the end of September. So we only have like a week. A week from tomorrow is the last day to earn any of these things free. And the item that I'm using is this Be Dazzling paper. And it really, the catalog doesn't do it justice. And I don't know if the camera will either. But it is really fun paper. Somebody said it looked like mermaid scales to them. But it's really fun. And so that's what I used on this card. But it looks a little different. This one in the middle looks a little different, doesn't it? I'll show you how I did that. Forgot to get my little gold things. Okay, now I think I have everything ready. Oh, no, I don't, because all my adhesive is over here. One moment. One moment. Okay. Now I'm ready. Okay. So the set that I used for this is the Sparkle of the Season set. So it has these fun leaves. You can do bats and leaves and stars and snowflakes. And then there's a die set that goes with it that I love. And that's where the wreaths came from. So there are dies that will cut out the leaves. I don't know if I can do this so you can see both or not. So it will cut out the leaves and the little tiny leaves and the pine cone. So I think all of these are cut out by the dies in this set. And then it has a bat die, some holly leaves, a pumpkin, and then this witch's broom, which is really fun. And then these 3 wreaths. So I've used these two quite a bit. I haven't gotten into the Christmas ones yet. So we'll be using those when I start Christmas crafting. And then the other thing I used on this that I wanted to show you is this has become my new favorite embossing folder. It's the Time Worn Type. And it's, yeah, you might be able to see it here better than you can on the card itself. But it's just kind of like typewriter, but worn. It's really a fun background to it. And it does have some partial words, so there is an up and a down, but you'd have to look pretty closely to know whether you had it on right side up or not. You can kind of see it there. So before I forget, let me also tell you, as always, I will post the measurements to this on my blog when I'm done, so you can recreate it if you have the materials or something similar. The hostess code for September is right here. So if you place an order of $40 or more, then I will send you 10 handmade cards. And then don't forget, for another week, if you place an order of $50 or for every $50 you spend, you get to pick something out of here. And there are a few items in here that are with a $100 order. So that's going on just for another week. And then what I've been playing with is the new mini catalog. So if you don't have this or the annual catalog and you need one, let me know. All right, let's get to stamping. So let me show you how I made, before I do anything else, let me show you how. So these look the same right now. Make sure you can see them. But we're going to change the color of this one. And we're going to do, it's very easy. We're just going to use our blending brush and our ink pad. So this is pumpkin pie. And I can't remember who I saw do this, but they suggested you pounce on it, not rub it, because they weren't sure if it would take off some of the glitter on it. I mean, it doesn't come off in your hand, so it might not, but to be safe, I did the same thing. So hopefully you can see that I'm just pouncing that color on there. And when you first do it, you're like, yeah, I guess it's changing it. But then when you put it next to the other one, you're like, oh yeah, that really did change the color. I'm going to put a little more on there. All right, that looks good. So now if you put them together, you can really see the difference. Isn't that fun? I want to try all sorts of different things. Oh, I could do it with green, with the Christmas. I might have to try that. All right, and then the other, the only stamping that we're doing, I'm going to move those out of the way for the moment, is just our sentiment, and it's Thankful for You, and it's from that Sparkle of the Season set. Hey, Debbie. Welcome. And if I can get this piece of paper picked up. So I just have a little piece of crumb cake. And we're just going to, and actually, I think when I did this, I punched one end of it first. I'm going to take a little Post-it note because I'm afraid this might be too. I always have to turn this, so I'm using this Pick a Banner punch, and I always have to turn it over. It's this one. So I can make sure that it's straight in there, if you can see that. So now that we've got that end punched, then I can have a better idea of where to place my sentiment. There we go. And I just stamped that in Early Espresso. And then on the ones that everybody got in the mail, because I used these as my thank you cards from the last class, I also punched the other end. So let's do that too. So this has a tail end and then a pointy end. So I did the pointy end. And again, I'll turn it over just to make sure it's straight. So now it's kind of like a little arrow. Okay. Now we're ready to put it together. So this is a quick and easy card. Get that out of the way. All right. Get my bone folder. So this is just a crumb cake base. And I always use my liquid glue when I've got an embossed piece. Hi, Patience. Well, maybe about time to get a new one of these out. So we're going to put this. This was Early Espresso also. We'll just put that on our card base. And then we'll take our 2 wreaths. And I just did, hopefully you can see, just some glue like on the leaves, on the bigger parts of it. This liquid glue holds pretty well, so you don't need a lot of it. And then if there was like a thick place, then I'd put some there too. So I'm just going to put this in the middle, but towards the top, and just hold on to it for a minute so that glue can stick. Thank you, Debbie. I'm glad you liked it. Hopefully you got yours already. And then the same thing here. Put it on the stars. And just doing little dots. Now you could use the adhesive sheets. I never remember to do that until it's too late. And then this one I'm just going to set in the middle of that. Again, hold it down for a minute so that glue can adhere. Isn't that fun? And you could do all sorts of different colors. Stick. All right, then get my dimensionals. I put this on with dimensionals, and because I don't want to try and put the dimensionals right on top of that, I put the dimensionals on my card instead of on my sentiment. So I just put them in the middle here. And then I can just lay the sentiment on top of that. That way I don't have to worry about where to put the dimensionals on the back of this, so they won't be right on the, whoops. They won't be right on the wreath. And then that just goes across there. And then I decided, well, that's not enough bling. We need some more. So I love these metallic pearls. So I used the gold ones because that just seemed more fall to me. And I just put, and you might not have even noticed him on the card itself, but I liked them. They just added a little bit more bling. You can never have too much bling. And oops, they're falling everywhere. So there you go. That's it. Very simple card. And that paper is just so fun. I still want to play with it. I'm going to be very sad to see it go at the end of next week when we can't get it anymore. So, as always, everyone that comments on this video will be in the drawing to win this card, and I'll draw next week. Last week we made this fun Halloween card, and so I drew just before the video to see who won it, and Betty won this one, so I'll be sending that to her. And I'll put it on my blog. I'll put the dimensions for this on my blog shortly after I get off here. I think that's it. I think that's all I have to share with you tonight. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will be back next week. Night.